If you're looking for the latest, greatest, hottest block game e-drama out there, you've come to the right place. This is the Kohi News. I'm your host, oBrave, and let's get right into it. Our first story of the day is about a Spanish player named El Tonel Uno, or known by our English friends as El Tonel 01. He recently started a series on his channel called Hacking Cheaters, a clear ripoff of Nike Boom's popular series, Hacking Hackers. If anything, this is just a Spanish version of it, as a matter of fact. I think El Tonel Uno is just screwing himself over, as Nike Boom is already blacklisted from Kohi, while our Mexican pal here may have had another chance. Next up, we're here with Philip My Cup, as well as some audience members, and we're about to hear the story behind Nightmare quitting and Losty0 quitting and getting blacklisted. Philip, how are you doing today?
I'm great.
Oh, that is awesome. So, I want to hear the story of Nightmare. What happened to you guys? You were a very toxic, as well as strong faction. Where did you all go?
Well, half of us made little Einsteins, and then half of us just aren't joining, and probably joining some other power factions like Aloha.
So, is that the end of Nightmare? Like, are you guys going to come back another map?
Not sure. Well, Losty's permanent at the moment, so...
Exactly, it's all surprising to hear. So, where did that dumbass Losty0 do this time to get himself blacklisted? Where is he at?
Quit.
So he quit. He's not coming back.
I don't think so.
That is unfortunate to hear. A very strong power has fallen from Kohi factions, and it's going to be interesting to see what powers build themselves up from here. Little Einstein's, what you said, is going to be one of them. Are you in Little Einstein's right now, Philip?
Yes.
And how is that faction going?
It's pretty good. It's just a small faction. We're just gonna fuck around and have fun, pretty much.
Sounds good enough to me. Well, Philip, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show.
Would you like to hear about how I got banned?
Oh, you're banned?
Oh, he got banned.
Oh, right. We didn't hear about that. Okay, so what happened to him?
Alright, so basically, just out of nowhere, he was like, Connie, you have pepperoni nipples.
Oh! Oh no, Philip. Okay, well, Philip, thank you very much for your time today. But now I know why you wanted me to put on that texture pack, so thank you very much for coming on the show. We're gonna have to ask you to exit through the left because it looks like Abbas over there got a little busy with his hobby. So that is all for this clip, and we're gonna have to see what happens next on the Kohi News. Our final story of this episode is going to be taking place in an old Kohi spawn. Due to our set being completely under construction, or, well, at least the server seems to be under construction. But anyway, we're going to be talking to Abbas today, who is currently on an account called Cycrom. Abbas, how are you doing today? How's the new bomb kit coming along?
It's going really good. We've just added a suicide function, so it's going, and there's airstrikes that come in halfway through when you press a button, so it's going good.
Perfect, not surprising to hear. Don't come for America. Okay, so I want to hear about everything that's happened to Venezuela this weekend. It's clearly been filled with a ton of block game battles, both in TeamSpeak and in-game, and I want to know a good summary of it.
So do you want me to start from, want me to just include what happened on the weekend, or do you want me to go through
the weekend, Friday, all that?
Okay, so starting with the weekend on the 23rd, I think it was.
Right, that was Friday.
Which was a Friday last week. We fought End Conquest for about a good 10 hours, and we fought every faction twice, and the max we ever had on was 25, whilst factions like Aloha came for about 2 fights, and they had 30 the entire time. We fought on a constant time of having less than 3 DTR, or 4 DTR even, and we were still winning fights. We made one faction raidable, which we didn't even bother going to the raid for. And then oh my lord, Orbit, that's disgusting. And we kept,
Keep going.
And we just kept going. And then at one point, our leader, Salty Savvy, or Devooks, he died midway through. So we had to start leading. So Dest, who was one of our captains, and me, decided to take lead. And we went to end, and we were, keep in mind, 1.5 DTR with about 18 people. And Micros was leading as well, sorry. So we had 2 mutes leading and an Australian. And we were at 1.5 capping. We had to start with, Francia came at 5 minutes and they started bowing us, and then they started attacking us. I don't know if Francia and Aloha were allying, by the way, but it was pretty obvious that they might have been, but I'm not going to say anything. So once Francia dipped, they were taking turns. Aloha then came with all their faction, and then Francia and Aloha were taking turns at trying to knock us. So then we had to dip because it wasn't worth holding at 5 minutes. And so I'm not going to say anything speculative because it will probably cause a flame war in the comments and people will get pissed at me. Myself, and Tryhard were the last two people out from Venezuela. And us two got out safely. Tryhard made a dumb mistake though, and he did not stick with me. He instead ran towards the road where a ton of people were, and that caused his death whilst I got out safely. Then we had Fauzi died, who made us raidable because he was still kiting. I mean, that wasn't his fault. Apparently, he froze. Sorry, fuck machine, not Fauzi. We then defended the base for another 2 hours, so this is up to 12 hours we were online. And we were defending. We lost nothing, and we kept the claim. We rebuilt the next day. And yeah.
So what's the next time you went raidable?
The next time we went raidable was on Saturday, I believe. Or Micros, could you remind me? Was it Saturday? We went to Conquest. Yeah, Saturday. So we went to I'll explain what happened at Conquest. We were fighting we didn't fight every faction, I won't say that. It wasn't during Conquest, but it was in the evening. I believe we got incited by a player named Rope who let Francia in, according to a ton of people in our faction. And then we basically lost hope, and Salty didn't really connect back.
So that's the end of Venezuela for this map, or forever. Which one?
There isn't a said thing. Oh, sorry, no, that was the third raidable, the one where Francia got lit in. The second one was where Dest and Sean went YOLO PvPing, and then, yeah, those two went PvPing at 1.5.
Alright, well that's overall very interesting to hear. So, do you think Venezuela will be making a comeback, as I said?
I doubt it will be in the next map or so, but knowing how we've played for the past few maps, they might come back with a newer roster in 2 maps, but it's very doubtful.
It sure will be interesting to see what happens in the future. Thank you very much, Abbas, for coming on the show. You can pearl off into the sunset right now.
I'm blowing up.
How beautiful. And that is going to wrap up this episode of the Kohi News. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment with any suggestions or any news, and until then, your host, with the most, is signing off.